All right, guys, I wanted to show you what I got in the mail. I ordered this off Amazon. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. Okay. So it's a plastic deer head. Okay, and the antlers glue in. I originally saw a deer head in a store that had been painted all white. Let's put this in the correct way. I'd seen a deer head painted in a store that was painted all white, and I thought it was really cool. It was an actual mounted deer head. Loved the look. So I had thought about trying to find a deer head thrifting, and I would just paint it white myself, but I just couldn't get over having a real deer head in my house. It's just not my thing. Not that I have anything against mounted deer heads or hunting. I don't. It's just not my thing. So I saw this on Amazon. It is all plastic. It's a good solid piece. I love it all white, but you know what? I think I am going to paint it and embellish it and make it something a little bit more my style. And I will show you guys what I do. This is the name of the brand that I got on Amazon. So if you decide that you're interested in something like this as well, it wasn't real expensive. I think it was, gosh, it was under $100. In fact, I think it was more like 60, 65 bucks. And it weighs about 6 pounds. So like I said, it seems pretty sturdy. It does have a hanger on the back. So it just hangs in by a nail or screw. Just screw that into the wall with an anchor, and it hangs right up just like a picture or a wall plaque or something like that. So okay, so I just opened up my favorite black paint, which is Weathered Wood by DIY, and this is how much I have left. And it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty dried up. But the great thing about DIY is that it's very, it's highly pigmented. It's a clay-based paint. So I can put a little bit of water in there and just shake it up and still get great coverage. I'm going to do the antlers in Weathered Wood, and then I'm going to paint the head white. I don't have any, I had some DIY, I have some DIY white swan, but I don't know that I have enough even to just do this head. I mean, it's completely, I think it's completely empty. So I'll open it up and look. If not, I've got some Rust-Oleum chalked white, which is fine. It's okay for this. And it's just really to give it a finished look. And I'm gonna seal it and then put some transfers on it. So I think that'll be fine. So let's see what we can do. So I put some water in both of these. You can see the white swan is really dried out. There was very little paint left in there, and it was dried hard, but I'm gonna try and salvage some of it if I can. If not, then I'll use the Rust-Oleum. And then the Weathered Wood I think is gonna be fine. It's just, it's gonna need a little time to mix up. So I'll just leave those sit for a little while, and then we'll get painting. Yeah, so just a little bit of water in this Weathered Wood, and I'm dabbing a little off the lid as well. But you can see it's going on just fine. That's gonna be no problem at all. I'm getting good coverage just with one coat, so I think once it's all on here, I think a couple of coats and this is gonna be just fine. Save the DIY paint in time to paint this, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Rust-Oleum white linen, and I think it should be fine. I need to get some water though. I'm going to just mist this. This is filled with water, and just get a coat of this on. Rust-Oleum is a pretty decent paint to work with. It is nowhere near the quality of DIY paint. It is a good enough quality that I could batch paint. So when I had my booth open, I was doing a lot of batch painting, and it was a good coat of white to batch paint with. And then I would save my money for the DIY paint on specialty colors and stamps and decor transfers and stuff like that. And the cost is a good value, so. I got one coat of weathered wood on the antlers, so I'm letting those dry. I'll put a second coat on this. I'll let this dry, and then we'll check the back, make sure that I didn't miss any spots, and I'll probably put a second coat on him as well. Okay guys, sorry I had to switch to voiceover. I'm recording this on July 3rd, and my neighborhood outside is currently reenacting a scene of Saving Private Ryan, if Saving Private Ryan included 2 Great Danes who were afraid of loud noises. So after I got all of the pieces painted, I took them outside and I coated them with some clear coat, just a spray clear coat. And then I am going to be layering on some transfers. I picked out some floral transfers, and I had some pots transfers. Those are both IOD transfers. And I just chose some to kind of layer on the deer head. So the deer head will have transfers and then paint finish for the antlers. If you've never used an IOD transfer before, they're really easy. It's just like applying a giant sticker or like a temporary tattoo. You can use them in whole sheets or cut them up in pieces like this. You just take the paper backing off, apply the plastic on top of wherever you want the transfer applied to, and then press down with the transfer stick. You can peel the paper up and see, just make sure that the transfer has applied. And then after you're all done applying all your transfers, you'll want to seal it either with a top coat or a wax, something like that. Oh yeah, once you've applied your transfer, you'll want to burnish the transfer onto your surface. That just means taking something and lightly rubbing it down, making sure that it's completely adhered to the surface of your project. And then after you've finished applying all of the transfers, then you'll use a top coat to seal it in. I'm using DIY's Big Top for this project. Once the whole piece was sealed with Big Top, I let that dry. Then I kind of decided I wanted a little more dimension, so I grabbed some DIY's Dark and Decrepit. I cut that 50-50 with some water to kind of make an antiquing glaze. I just applied that all over the head and wiped it back. And then once it was done, it gave a nice antiqued look to the piece. After I'd finished with the glaze, I was letting that dry, and I kind of wanted to add a little more interest to the antlers. I got out my DIY Pennies from Heaven copper patina, and just kind of started playing around with that. I put a little on, decided that was way too much, so I just kind of watered it down and played with the mix of water and color to kind of get a wash. So I would put some color on and then spray it and just kind of let it drip down and thin out. And as I played with it, I kind of liked the look that I got when I sprayed down the antlers and then applied the copper patina. That really gave it a true wash look. So I just kind of played around with it until I really just kind of liked the look. I would spray on water, put on some color, wipe it back, spray on some water, put on some color, wipe it back, until I liked the look. Once I finished with the copper patina, I let that dry, and then I got out some DIY dark wax and just added that over top of the copper patina to try and warm that color up a little, just to kind of make it look a little more aged, help it blend with the paint color a little more. I was just loving how this was turning out. And once he was all finished up, I decided to put him in my entryway. Now, I still need to paint the entryway white so that it matches the rest of my house, but my gosh, look how gorgeous he is. I am so in love with this piece. I think it might be my favorite piece I've ever done. I love all the layered transfers. I love the antique look that the Dark and Decrepit gave it. I love the little bit of gilding that you get from the copper patina finish. I'm just thrilled with how this turned out. Well, I had a blast with this project. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really wanted to share this piece. It's one of my favorites. Thanks. We'll see you in the next video.